You actually arrive in Gresham Street, you see a cottage, but you walk through the front door, or the front entrance gate I should say, and you've got this wonderful walkway journey that takes you down into the start of this house. But then the other thing that you see when you walk in the front door is this wonderful contrast of materials. No doubt when I walked in here for the first time, I could see how pumped you were about this home and what you've created. What does this home do to your soul when you walk in the door?
I'm thinking how the house makes me feel when I come home. That's what I was trying to think. I like to pull out the guitars. I used to be a musician, spent a lot of time in New York. And I feel like this is one of those places that brings me back there with the design elements and all the concrete polished floors.
That past life of yours as a performer, as an artist, as a songwriter, it really has played a role in the creativity of what you have put together here as a work of art and, more importantly, as a family home that you all enjoy.
I like to bring that artistic side of me in my builds. It's something that I can't pull away from, and I've got to work with it. If I'm writing a song or if I'm building a house, really want that for people to appreciate my artistry and how they feel when I sing a song or write a song, and same when I build a house. I think the passionate side of me of being a singer-songwriter naturally comes through. Not many items in this place that isn't custom made to the seats at the fireplace, the flue, all the timber sourced from Herefords and Finlaysons.
I don't see too many renovations of this quality. It really is next level. Can you share, just a little bit of how this property, this home, this development that you've put together, how did it come about?
When we bought the property, it was probably the worst house on the best street. I'm a bit of a visionary and I could see the potential in the block, and the old cottage, which has a bit of a history, it's called Mirambina, which means welcome in Aboriginal. It's in the heart of Brisbane. And I really wanted to change things up in East Brisbane. I wanted to build a new farm type of home in East Brisbane. We got a team together, Salvador from The Artificial, and I really wanted to make a statement with this property.
And I guess in terms of the overall philosophy of what you have created here, you can very much see that you've preserved the original integrity of the cottage and then added a very modern extension off the back that is just perfect for modern family living.
I guess the concept started from the old cottage. It looks like in the original state, pretty much everything on that cottage besides the front facade is all brand new. All the windows were sourced locally, all the hoods, the timber work, the decking, the structure of the building as well. There's a lot of steel actually holding up the front of the cottage. So we sort of integrated all that flowing through to the back. We have the pool area, grass area, this fireplace area. There's a nook upstairs for the kids if they don't want to hang out with the parents downstairs. And I made sure that the quality of the construction was to the highest standard.
Great versatility in this home and plenty of breakaway space for the kids and for the adults alike. Just coming back to even the focus on the cottage and how that relates to the new extension, that use of timber and tin throughout also does honour the original part of the house.
We really didn't want the big wow factor at the front. East Brisbane is an old suburb. A lot of the focus was about the architecture in the whole build, not just the front.
One of the features that I've noticed in this home from front to back is the use of porcelain blockwork.
I was a little bit hesitant, to be honest with you, at the beginning, because we just didn't want to make the space look heavy, but because it's a white blockwork, it actually lightens up the area, and we have dark features in the cabinetry. The contrast, I believe, works really well.
I think when you look at the palette and you look at the porcelain blockwork, the way that works with the polished concrete floors, which is very robust for family living, and then obviously the use of darker cabinetry, it really does give you a beautiful level of contrast. The other thing with this home too is that you can see that it very carefully contours down the block, and the contour of the original slope of the land seems to define the living spaces. Is that how it has been designed?
We actually raised this quite a lot at the back. You can actually see the trees. We're halfway up the tree. Starting from the boundary, redeveloped all the retaining walls.
The other thing too that comes to mind is I guess we're speaking about the lower level, but if you go upstairs, it's like if you turn right, there's the redefined original cottage, and that provides a level of breakaway space. You turn left, you walk into this modern wing, which has that second living, has the beautiful master suite. And I guess that really adds to the living experience of this home as well.
Above us, this is the master bedroom. It's like we call it the nest. It has its own balcony. The old side of the house, which I say is the new side because it's all been fully redone. There's a lot of areas where you can break away, and it's a different world up there. You know, it's a world where you can just relax.
Take the block size here at 506 square metres. It's actually quite large in an East Brisbane sense, I should say. And then once again, coming back to the design aspect of this home and how you have basically utilised all of it, it feels like you're even on a bigger block. We've spoken about the house, but let's talk a little bit about East Brisbane.
I just think it's probably the best suburb in Brisbane by far. There's so many parks. We walk to the water, to the river, 600 or 800 metres to the river. Cafes are opening up, bars. People are really starting to invest in East Brisbane. Just remember growing up in Melbourne and seeing St Kilda, nobody wanted to even hear about St Kilda.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt. I love hearing you parallel it to some of that gentrification that's happened down south and in Melbourne in particular, and you can see, you know, East Brisbane's already a giant, but it's going to become a super giant. There's a sporting event, a fairly big sporting event that'll happen here in just under 10 years that certainly puts the eyes of the world on East Brisbane and the Gabba and Kangaroo Point. And certainly when you look at infrastructure projects like the Cross River Rail, to name one, the rejuvenation of the Gabba, it's certainly going to create wonderful opportunity for residents living in this part of the world.
To be honest with you, we're moving back to East Brisbane.
We've got to find you a property, don't we, Tim? Yes.